Welcome to Mind Awaken, where stories come to life and open doors to new perspectives. Today, we find ourselves in a mesmerizing village nestled among enchanting hills where a young man named Peter resides. Though humble and polite, Peter often finds himself overshadowed by his friends who receive the respect and honor that seem to elude him. Feeling disheartened, Peter sought solace by the river that whispered through his village. As he sat by the water's edge, questions swirled in his mind like the gentle current. Why, he wondered, did the world thrive on belittling others? Why was respect so unevenly distributed? Overwhelmed by these unsettling thoughts, Peter decided to seek wisdom from an old monk, known for his profound insights and ability to soothe troubled souls. His friends or family, it feels as though my words vanish into thin air. They nod, they smile, but it seems they never truly listen. It's as if my voice doesn't matter, and that hurts more than I can say. The monk listened patiently, his gentle eyes resting on Peter with understanding. After a moment of silence, the monk spoke softly. Peter, the respect you seek must first come from within. When you believe in your own worth, others will begin to see it too. The world reflects what we project. Peter considered the monk's words, realizing that perhaps the journey to being respected might start with how he viewed himself. It was a simple truth, but one that lit a spark of hope within him. Peter listened intently, processing the monk's words with a heavy heart. He had always felt the sting of being overlooked, his voice drowned out by the louder, more confident people around him. But here, in the quiet presence of the monk, he began to see things differently. "What do you truly want, Peter?" The monk asked again, his voice calm and inviting. Peter hesitated, then spoke from the depths of his soul. "I want respect. I want people to listen to me without dismissing my thoughts. I want to feel valued." The monk nodded, understanding the weight of Peter's wish. "Respect begins with self-respect," he said gently. "When you see your own value, others will follow." Peter realized that change had to start within him. The monk's wisdom gave him a new perspective, a beacon of hope to guide his journey towards self-empowerment. Peter sat quietly, absorbing the monk's words of wisdom like a sponge. The monk's voice, gentle yet firm, pierced through the noise of Peter's insecurities. "To be respected," the monk continued, "you must first learn the power of saying no." Peter furrowed his brow, contemplating this simple yet profound lesson. He had always been a people-pleaser, nodding along to keep the peace, to be liked, to be accepted. But now, the monk was urging him to take a stand, to assert his own boundaries. "Saying no isn't about denying others," the monk explained. "It's about affirming yourself. When you respect your own limits, people will start respecting you." This was the first step on Peter's journey. He realized that true respect wouldn't come from others until he stopped undervaluing himself. Peter listened intently as the monk's words resonated deeply within him. This idea of saying no was more than just a refusal. It was a declaration of self-worth. Peter could see how his constant agreement had diminished his own voice. He had become a shadow in his own life, a mere echo of others' desires. The monk continued, "When you say yes all the time, people stop valuing your consent. Your time becomes their tool, and your energy is spent on tasks that aren't yours to bear. This cycle leaves you drained, without appreciation or growth." Peter realized that by always acquiescing, he had not only lost his own path, but had also enabled others to overlook his contributions. Now, understanding the weight of a well-placed no, he He felt a surge of determination to reclaim his life, to define his own boundaries, and ultimately to find happiness not in pleasing others, but in being true to himself. Peter absorbed the monk's wisdom, feeling the weight of his past choices. He recognized that his habit of agreeing to everything had brought him unhappiness and eroded others' respect for him. But the monk wasn't finished. "Peter," he continued, "the next lesson is to cease complaining. Everyone faces their own struggles. Constantly airing your grievances pushes people away. They seek joy and relief, not someone to remind them of their burdens." Peter reflected on this. He realized that while sharing struggles was part of being human, he often dwelled too much on negatives, expecting others to shoulder his burdens. But the truth was, people yearned for a companion who could uplift them, not one mired in sorrow. Determined to change, Peter decided to face his challenges head-on, seeking solutions instead of sympathy. He understood that while empathy was valuable, displaying resilience and positivity could inspire and connect him with others far more effectively. As the monk's words sunk in, Peter felt a newfound clarity. He was ready to embrace the power of boundaries and positivity, carving a path that was truly his own. Peter listened intently as the monk shared the third piece of wisdom, a lesson that seemed to echo his own recent realizations. "Peter," the monk began, "if you want to preserve your self-respect and earn the respect of others, you must learn the art of measured availability." The monk's words were like a gentle breeze, easing Peter's heart. He understood that by always being at everyone's beck and call, he had inadvertently diminished his own value. People had begun to take him for granted, much like water, abundant yet underappreciated. "But remember," the monk continued, "scarcity breeds value. Like a rare diamond, your presence should be cherished, not assumed." With this newfound insight, Peter resolved to balance his availability, becoming more deliberate with his time and attention. He felt a sense of empowerment, ready to redefine his relationships and his own worth in this ever-demanding world. Peter absorbed the monk's fourth lesson with the seriousness of a scholar. It was a truth he had often overlooked in the rush of daily life. The monk's gentle reminder struck a chord deep within him. Always do what you have said. Peter realized that integrity was not merely about keeping promises to others, but also to himself. He saw how vital honesty was in all relationships and how it formed the bedrock of trust. A person true to their word was like a sturdy bridge, reliable and steadfast. The monk's words painted a vivid picture of the consequences of deceit. He now understood that false promises were like cracks in that bridge, weakening the structure until it inevitably collapsed. With this wisdom, Peter vowed to be unwavering in his commitments, knowing that respect was the natural reward for integrity. Peter listened intently as the monk shared this final piece of wisdom. The monk's words resonated with the quiet echo of truth that lingered in the air. He spoke of how society often judged people by their wealth or lack thereof. For someone without riches, the world could indeed feel harsh and unforgiving. The monk's voice was gentle, yet firm as he explained that poverty often led to isolation and ridicule. It was as if a veil of invisibility draped over those who lacked material wealth, making them feel insignificant. But the monk didn't leave Peter in despair. Instead, he encouraged him to cultivate a skill, a talent, something that could lift him from the depths of poverty and into a life of self-respect and dignity. Peter realized that acquiring such a skill wasn't merely about escaping poverty. It was about finding a purpose that could bring him fulfillment and recognition. The monk's lesson was clear. Personal growth was the key to breaking free from the shackles of poverty, allowing one to walk with pride and confidence even in the face of adversity. Peter left the serene temple with a sense of determination etched into his heart. The monk's words had ignited a spark within him, a spark that promised transformation. He understood now that respect wasn't something that could be demanded. It was earned through the relentless pursuit of self-improvement and authenticity. Determined to become the best version of himself, Peter embarked on a journey of self-discovery. He honed his skills, learned new crafts, and embraced every opportunity to grow. With each passing day, he noticed changes not just in how others perceived him, but in how he perceived himself. Confidence replaced doubt, and a sense of purpose filled his days. In time, the world recognized Peter's transformation. People began to see him not just as a man who had overcome his circumstances, but as someone who had risen above them with integrity and grace. His story became an inspiration to many, a testament to the power of resilience and self-belief. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Peter. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content.